Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 10th episode already of Let's Build Tryggby. Now, today we're gonna be doing two very big buildings, and actually the bigger buildings of the town. We're gonna be doing a tower, which is gonna be the Seafarers Guild, and we're gonna be making the large inn. That's the green building at the back there, and kind of switching them up. First of all, the tower, right here at the sea in between the big lane leading off to the big pier behind the market. Building it up in stone, because of course it's a rich building, so it's going to have rich materials. It's going to be made out of stone. You can see me playing with the colors there. And, well, basically, in the end I decided this town needs a bit more color, so I work in a bit more brighter colors than this grey terracotta. I think it's cyan terracotta or something like that. But yeah, using lots of stone because it's very expensive, and well, stone is strong, and this is right on the harbour side where people can actually come in, so you know, dangerous place to live. Now, originally I was thinking of putting the roof there actually, and it wasn't going to be such a big tower, but well, in just a second you can see me raising up the roof by at least 2 stories and adding in some extra floors. But yeah, going for a normal steep peaked roof, just an A-frame like you're used to in this place. Because of course it's got to stay a bit Nordic, right? And Nordic houses typically have very steep roofs, so that allegedly the snow can fall off easily, which is I think a very good argument. So steep roof on there, and a side bit, I don't know what you actually call it, but a side bit so we can actually make it a bit interesting on the side. And adding some fences in for some woodwork, just for detail. And of course the path around it has to be worked. Yes, there you can see it. I'm raising up the upper story by a lot. So it actually looks a bit more like a completed tower instead of a weird stubby square building. And now this is actually a very prominent building in Tryggby, which I am quite proud of. It looks really nice. Adding some windows and also a couple more brown colors for the shutters of the windows in a bit. In the back area, because this is more than just one tower. It's got a little building at the front that kind of sticks out to the market, so you have a little bit of a layered view from the market square. Now this top bit's gonna be square, I think, with do you call it the saddle roof? I think it might be a saddle roof, I don't know. Adding some very simple detail. It's not a very complicated build or very revolutionary at the front here. But again, using some fences to add in some detail into the front facade, and some nice stonework for the entrance at the market square. Now adding the windows and some more easy detail along the edges and kind of fortifying the foundations and make them look less boring, basically. Adding the shutters to the windows, so introducing some more colors into the mix. Adding the brown, instead of only at the top, also adding the brown a bit halfway through, makes the build look more like a whole instead of a clear separation of colors. Now we're onto the big inn, which is yet to be named, so if you have any cool name for an inn that's kind of rough, but also quite posh, right next to the sea in a massive trading port, then submit your name in the comments. I'm really always excited to see whatever you guys come up with. So yeah, this was before we had 1.17 on the server, so there's no deep slate yet. We're just using blackstone for the foundations and adding smooth sandstone and oak for the upper levels, and adding a big roof on top. Now I wanted the front to be kind of curved, as you can see down there, and then flatten out with overhangs into the eventual top facade. And that curve was kind of strange to work in, because you can see those windows down there in the sandstone level are actually stairs, so there's no glass in there. And the windows in the wood there as well, which is something I don't usually like doing, but I think it turned out quite well here. Now adding the many windows that are going to be there, and I'm not necessarily bothered by that extra diagonal bit that's gonna block the windows, because I'll just take those out later. For now it's just about working up the system so I can actually complete the build. With some extra detail there to the build, with some extra rooflets above the windows and fences alongside to detail the windows. I think this build looks pretty detailed and busy. Now more of these extensions on the roof to give the people that stay on the top floor some more space. And also making the roofs look a bit more fancy, because this is the richest place in town to stay. There will definitely be a couple more places to stay, like the one we built in the very first or second episode, one of the two. And now we are adding a tower, because I felt this place needed like a peak, because it needs to show its dominance over the shoreline, right? So this tower is built out of the cyan terracotta, I believe, and sandstone again with a wood frame. And I wasn't really sure what to do at the top, so I first experimented with, well, just a basic top part made out of wood and a wooden roof on top of it, but that looked kind of strange, because, and I think that is because the tower doesn't actually extrude at the top, like the top part isn't bigger than the shaft, so to say. And I think that is why this doesn't really work. Or maybe because it's square. But eventually I end up using a set-in roof, like the roof is behind the walls, so to say. You'll see that in a bit. I add some windows, which makes it feel a bit warm actually. Maybe feels a bit Mediterranean. So I suppose that's some of the exotic luxury you get for staying in a very expensive inn. Now the side extension isn't going to be anything special, it's going to be more of the same, basically. With some overhanging wooden walls and just a steep roof all the way to the top. Now I must say, this is clearly the biggest house-like building I've built in a long time. I've built some bigger castles, but nothing like this big, and it was nice to actually experiment again with some more intricate patterns and some more repetitions than I usually get, because usually I can just fit 2 or 3 windows next to each other, while this is a whole different deal. And I'm excited to actually do the interiors for this, because I actually really like puzzling and figuring out how to get the rooms into the shape of the building. But yeah, this very fancy and rich looking facade of this building, with the very fancy roof that also extends a bit out like it used to do in my Elvish builds, if you might remember. And well, this diagonal was a bit of a counting problem, because of course all the distances didn't really work diagonally. So you can see the weird, awkward log on the most right side of this wall that didn't really want to cooperate. So I had to switch around all the counting. Well, that's that's how you learn, I suppose. I think, even though the spacing isn't equal at the ground level, as you can see, I think this turned out pretty fine. And with finishing this part of the building, we are already nearly done with this episode. The only thing that's left is constructing the roof of the tower, and then we're done. So, the inn we have there, right along the market, and on the other side, the orange blob and orange lines are also going to be a market square, so we're going to have 2 of them. And of course, the tower of the Seafaring Guild is also ready to go. So, I would like to ask you to send your name recommendations for the inn to my Discord or just in the comments, and please let me know if you liked this episode or if there's anything you'd like to see more of. Now, next time I think we're going to be doing some work on the market square on the other side and some general work around the city, and we're going to start planning the castle. So I am very excited for that. I hope you are too. And I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to speak to me or let your builds be checked out by me or other amazing builders, get over to my Discord, links in the description. And I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!